Welcome back to Jacob's Backyard Builds. Today we are in the garage working on the 72 Datsun 240Z. So here she is. So today we're working on back brakes. So ordered a kit from Jegs. This is for a Ford 9-inch. This fits the early and late model big bearing and the small bearing. It's got brackets for all three different ones right here. So I've already got one side together. These are the other brackets for the newer big bearing, and that's the old school small bearing one. We are using this bracket, which is for the old style big bearing. So here I've already got the driver's side put together. So some new drilled and slotted vented rotors, single piston caliper, bracketry back here. I have to still take it apart, tighten things up. I'm going to trim this back. So this plate here that's in between the axle tube and the caliper bracket, the silver one in the center, that is actually the old caliper mounting bracket, which looked like this. So I basically took it, you can see here where the outline is, and just kind of trimmed around it. I'm going to take it back off and get it cut nice and perfect around this outline. And this is going to serve as our axle hold-in, because these ones have the hold-in here on the inside and there's no holder on the axle itself. So first thing I had to do to make these brakes fit, these are Strange Engineering axles. They were 6 1/4 inch on the outer face. I had them ground down to 6.2, and then the inside was also ground to fit around the center of the rotors. So that cost them, it was like 30 bucks to take it to a local machine shop, and they took care of that for me. So we'll get the O-ring put back on that, get that slid into the housing, and then we will start hacking on this and getting that ready to hold in the axle without making contact with the other bracket or the caliper or the rotor, because it hits everything. But this is my cheap option and something that works, and it's actually so if you take the original bracket that holds that axle on and take this, which that was all that was there to hold the axle and the caliper before, these plates here are spacers. So this is a kit to take drum brakes off and put disc brakes on a Ford 9-inch. And this had disc brakes on it before, but I'm pretty sure it was a Strange Engineering setup. I know it had a dual or 4-piston caliper on it. So that's why the bracket was like the other one. It didn't slide. It used the pistons to move it around. This is a sliding caliper. So those would have been placed back here. You know, before you slided your axle in, you would have placed it on here and then slid your axle in here and then bolted it on. And so that takes up your space from the backing plate from the drum brakes, but we don't have any of that. So if you add together the spacer they gave you and the piece that should be in there, it's about this thick. So this lined up perfectly to use as a spacer and an axle bracket. We'll just cut these up and reuse old hardware and not have to buy anything else. It's only like 20 bucks, but why buy them if I can make it? So we'll get moving on this, and I'll give you guys an update.